video brought to you by Wallman Optical.
The first board members of the Toledo Society for the Blind numbered 12, but there are 4 that were actually given the officer title, and we're going to talk about them today. They were influential, well-meaning individuals, prominent business people actually, and people with experience in social services. In fact, a Blade article from November 21st of 1923 confirms that upon the opening of the Toledo Society for the Blind, board officers had already been selected. Board president, Edward E. Evans. He was then the general manager and the owner of Crushed Stone. That was located in White House. He was also the current president of the Toledo Lions Club, a fact that will become important later. He was actually the president for about 34 years. Edward did a lot for the region, and we'll discuss him in a future video. The vice president, Dr. Walter H. Snyder, a prominent ophthalmologist, a member of the Ohio State Commission for the Blind. That was kind of the precursor for the Bureau of Services for the visually impaired. He helped people get assistance that they needed for community employment. Also, an advisory member of the National Committee to Prevent Blindness. Secretary Arthur Gill. Now, Arthur came from the social service field. He was the very first social service courses professor at what was then called Toledo University, employed by the Toledo Social Service Federation back in the day, and secured the society's first home. Arthur was actually able to obtain a room and the phone services necessary for free at the social service building located then on Ontario Street. And finally, our 4th, Treasurer Katharine Geddes. Now, Katharine was the treasurer and at this time couldn't even take a loan out in her own name because she was a woman. She was a well-known World War I relief worker, served for the Toledo Hospital Clubs, was a member of the Toledo Women's Club, one of the first Toledo police women actually, back in 1921. Katharine was also a very important player in the role of expanding the Girl Scouts of Northwest Ohio. Those officers, along with Pearl Thompson, Frank Anderson, Earl Newcomer, Claire Skinner, Father Carl Alter, Stephen Mahone, William B. Wells, and Jesse Wells made up the very first board of trustees of the Toledo Society for the Blind.